Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 on ballyspring. Right, so a few days have passed. I'm in September. I decided to get to the end where we can soon, hopefully not the next episode, probably the one after that, we can skip over onto the most updated version of the map, because as you can tell from in front of me, I'm hoping some things are fixed. So yeah, you can see the maize silage fermented quite well, but at the same time, yeah, it's missing bits, and quite a good chunk, I imagine, is on the side there. Now, the good thing about this, when I do move over to the new save on the most updated version of the map, I am going to move exactly the same amount of maize silage, so like put in here, fresh maize, it hopefully is as close as I can to whatever level it's at, and yeah, just recompact it, do all that stuff, and have it as a bunker full of maize silage. I think I mentioned before, my first idea was to do some bales just while we're transitioning, just because it's easier to spawn them in, but I actually do like the idea of having a bunker full of silage, and I have to say, and the way that the maize looks when it's fermented, it's just, yeah, it's perfect. I haven't actually looked at the list of fixes from the updates. I know there's been about 3 probably now updates, so yeah, I'm hoping at least this is one of them, because yeah, that's quite a good chunk of maize there that we're not obviously getting as silage. And it's also not the best thing to look at. It does look a little bit ugly, but we'll sort that out. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that'll be a fix. Right, so let's have a bit of an update. I did all the least items I had, I've returned, just because there's no point in me paying for them anymore. We're not going to use any of them. Some of the items like a sprayer and all that stuff, just may as well return them. I would have kept them on originally if we were just carrying on, but with me going over again to the new save, it just makes sense. But I did lease out this because what I think the best thing to do is, even though there's a best time to sell wool, I am going to sell it just before we move over, and also the lambs and the calves. Now, I say calves because we've had some, so there's a few changes gone on in these, well, I think it was like 3 days that have skipped through. There is a few changes. Now, my idea originally was to sell the male lambs in month 5, or when they're 5 months old. Depends how close we get to that. I don't think we will. We've even had more male lambs. We've had more female lambs. It's yeah, it's going crazy. Luckily, still haven't had to put any feed into the sheep, so they're happy enough. But yeah, we'll get the wool sold. And you can see that I've been using the skid steer just to load onto this, and I'll lease this out because it's really good because it kind of lowers down. But then yeah, we've got a few more pallets to put on as well. So that's that bit sorted out. Let's move over to the cows then, because yeah, they've been busy, and they've been bloody eating food more than anything. I can tell you that. I put 2 full TMR mixes into this just to tie them over, and we're nearly empty again. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We have got calves now in there, as you can see, but I mean, they're not going to consume much. So I'm glad we've got enough stock now to obviously maintain, because soon, if not like now, speaking as they've had the calves, we should be getting milk. I'll have to check. I think it might be 27 months though, 28, 27 months of age. I don't know how it works for maize pots. I mean, I'm sure it's 27 months. We might change that to when they start calving, because I'm sure they've just calved, which means, you know, probably going to get a bit of milk. But maybe the calves are still on and they haven't been bucket fed and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I don't know how it's working out on that front, but we should start getting milk technically now because the cows have calved. So let's have a look at the animals just so you can see what I'm on about when it saves the game. There we go. So the top one obviously is just the one on its own, 4 months. When that gets to age, we'll move it out with the rest of them. Sheep, we've got plenty of females. They're not really the ones we're looking at. But if we look at the male ones here, 3 months to 2 months away. We've got some more here that have just spawned in, so 11. And then we've got some more here that are 2 months. So you can see we've got quite a few. I did want to sell them at 5 months, but we're just going to sell them just before we move over. That's probably the best thing. Now, my plans with the cows would have been, obviously, with me having some male and female calves. The female calves I would have put into the igloos, started feeding them in there, like we should do. But, again, I don't think there's much point in doing that, all that work for just moving over save game. We may as well just keep them out with the cows now, just let them feed. Same with the male cows. What I would have done with these male cows is I would have probably put them into the inside barn that I've got that's got no cows in at the moment because they're all outside, just to separate them out from the female. And then maybe again at 5 months we would have just sold them because we don't need any male cows. We really don't. Probably get a bull though, thinking about it, just so it looks better. But yeah, we're gonna in the next save game, that'll be my plan. So every time we have female calves, they go in the igloos, we raise them and rear them that way, put them in with the heifers, and we'll separate out pretty much like our heifers if we can with our milkers. If we can't, then we'll just keep the milkers and heifers together because we haven't really got much space. We've technically got like 2 pastures for cows. We've got the heifers that could technically go in the shed, the cow shed that's like not got an open pasture. But then we can also have the open pasture for like the milkers at this time of year. But then when the winter comes, we're going to bring them in anyway. So I think it's just better to keep the cows, the milkers with the heifers. And then the male calves we're going to sell at 5 months anyway. Female calves, they're just going to be in the igloos until they get ready to obviously mingle with these heifers or the milkers. So that's pretty much the update on the animals. We're doing well. Now remember, we'll sell the calves that are male. We'll sell the lambs that are male. And what we're left with, I will try and change the XMLs on the new save so they're exactly the same now, age-wise and everything. That's what I'm going to try and do. So it should look the same just without the male calves and the male lambs. That's my aim, because obviously we've worked hard to get to where we are, and I think it's going to work out where we're getting to that point now where we're going to be doing a lot of work with the animals, and I do want to be hands-on with the animals. So I'm hoping that I'm not going to go all through that again just to get back to the same process. I think it is working pretty well, so we'll make sure we try and get the same ages of these animals. But as you can see, they've got 35,000 litres, but don't let that fool you. That was at like 90 in about 3 days. So I think they're consuming about 30,000 a day. But this kind of skews it off because of the fact I put that hay in. It really did mess it up. So luckily when we go to the new save, I'll make sure it's just all TMR so it kind of goes down gradually together, because it's nice to have that backup. It really is, because obviously if they run out of their space, moisture in the power food, they're still going to have a bit of that. But again, it's only 30%. It actually stops them from, if I go to my cows or heifers, it stops them from doing the reproduction. It really does. It kind of like stalls. I mean, I'm at 75% now. Don't know why that is. It's dropped down. I tried to figure out why that was, and I was thinking, is that the reason I've got no milk? Because these are 12 months, but they're 24 months. Now, they're the ones that have just had the calves, which makes sense because I've got 16 and 14, and there is a chance that a cow can have 2. Yeah, we should be producing milk now. We really should, which is going to be a cracking earner. It really is. So that's the update on the animals. Not too bad at all. I have got just one small update to do. Now, I decided off camera, after I did the maize silage and I was doing everything else, to work my socks off and get all the hay done. Now, I've got it all done and it's out in the fields. All the 4 grass fields, even that one over there, which is where I've been taking the hay bales from to make the TMR mixes. 2 at a time, easy enough. So I've got, like I said, 4 grass fields that have been all chopped, and I've made some hay bales. And if we have a look over here, you can see that they've kind of all rolled down the hill. Gravity really did take effect. I had to pick some up out of that field because they rolled through the gap and into my soybean field, which obviously I couldn't drive in because I do crop damage. So I had to go in there and just pick them up and bring them back through. It's really good to show you that if I go into this and go on to, I think it might be this tab, show bale location. And then if we bring up the map now, you can see that all the bales just pretty much rolled down. These are the ones, I did actually do a few silage bales that I've left out there from when we were doing that DLC pack and was showing it off. the one that I don't like pronouncing because I always butcher it. But yeah, we've got a lot of hay bales out in these fields that I'm going to bring back. Just going to make a count of them, so when I do move over, we've got enough. And as and when I need them right now, I'm just going to take them out. Because precision farming at the moment, we've got a decent score, 10%, but if we have a look, everything needs nitrogen. And there's no point in me doing any work on these fields, because they're just going to have a clean slate, so there's just no point. I think we're at a really good point now after we've done the harvest, because what we'll do with the grain is we'll just store it into the new safe game, make sure we've got the exact same amount that we've obviously harvested, so we're not losing anything, but then we can still sell it at the best time. Obviously, we're not going to have this 10%. We can try and work towards it, because it's going to give us from probably till June, and I will speed up time, so we're in year 3 June, so it's still matching from where I've left off, just to give me the exact same amount of time from when we're finishing this one to the new one. So I think this episode's definitely going to be a focus on harvesting. Next episode's going to be pretty much focusing on maybe selling them cows, just some finishing touches, and making a count of everything, really. So when we do go into that next one, we're exactly where we left off. So, enough faffing, enough chin wagging. We may as well get this harvest sorted out. Now with this, I am going to attempt to use auto drive and course play. We're going to go for it. We're not going to mess about. We're not going to worry about collisions on edges and stuff like that. We're just going to crack on with it. But I think the best thing for me to do is get in the harvester first and just go and do a headland pass around each field. So when I do set the course up, I had a bit of lag there. Yeah, when I do set the course up, I don't have to worry about it too much, because that first headland pass is avoided. So if we're using auto drive, it can have a bit of space. Now, this harvester I've never actually used before, so I'll have to see how it performs. It's a bit of a small one, but it should be good for, you know, our fields. But we have got 2 decent enough sized fields, so we really need to get this going. But with the help of courseplay, I think the main reason I want to use courseplay, let's be honest, is for the montage. Got to do a montage for the harvest, and I think this map deserves a nice bit of a decent montage. So yeah, can we hook up to that? I can't remember if we can. No, we can't, so we're gonna have to bring that down with a tractor, which is fine. We'll do that. We're gonna use, yeah, we'll use the Valtra for the carting. Shouldn't be too bad, really. We don't need like double up. That's a good trailer. And there's one really good thing about this trailer that someone showed, or someone made a comment about when we started the map and we did that canola harvest. Actually, I have used this harvester. Of course I have, for the canola that we started off with. How did I forget about that? Yeah, we did use it. But yeah, this trailer, you can change the tip angle. So I can set it to 30 degrees, for example, and it doesn't collide with the ceiling, or can go into a small shed, for example, and tip. So that's pretty good. I do like that. We'll use the Massey for this. We're going to use a bit of follow me. We're going to get everything on its way down, and then we can just get it started. We're going to, like I said, do that first headland pass in each one, and then we'll do auto drive. I think it's pretty much, from what I've seen from the auto drive guy and his courses, and I think they've got a team, probably, because it must be a lot of work if he does it all himself, but I imagine there's a team working on it. They do some cracking courses, but this map is a challenge. They probably would admit that, because of the fact it's got, you know, a lot of collisions on it. So you have to give, you know, hats off where it's due and all that stuff. Right, if we just move up here, I'm hoping this guy will follow me for a little bit, give me a bit of space so I can go get into this bad boy. Now, talking about tractors, because I did mention that as soon as we go over to the new save and everything, we're going to try and upgrade. We're going to try and probably swap out. Hey, oh, that's the second time I've had lag at that spot. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Yeah, I was saying about the tractor. I completely forgot what I was saying. Yeah, we're probably going to swap out. I personally think that the John Deere just has to go. It has to go because of the fact that we are, you know, at that point where we need a bigger tractor. Why not do it for the? Why not use it for the? Why not swap the John Deere out? Because even though it's really good, and it is really good, it's the one that's probably the most obvious to swap out. Now, I've been having a look to see, you know, size frame, tractors and all that. I don't want to go massive, kind of really unrealistic for this, but something with a bit of juice. Now, I have already got a Valtra, and I looked at the one up in the large category, and I have to say, it's not that massive of a frame tractor, and I think it would suit. It's about 400 horsepower, which is insane for what we've currently got. It's like double, and I just think it would work a treat. So we're going to try that out. We definitely are. I think that's the one we're going to go for. But when we get into them episodes where we're looking at the tractors, I'll have a look at the comments as well and see what everyone recommends, because, you know, there might be a bit of a hidden gem out there that you guys can also recommend. Now, I think I'm going to mess up the full memo, but I've decided to go this way in. But I'm not sure if that'll struggle with that. Just about. Just about. Oh, I tell you what, I did not want to reverse up that hill. Right, so I'm unfolding now. Just want to make sure everything's working. We've got a bale sitting there, which hopefully won't get in the way too much. I think I might need a PTO. There we go. Got the PTO in. There we go. Good as gold. Now, I do want to do straw as well with this, but we're not going to do that in this episode. We are going to make sure we do that probably in between episodes, because obviously I just want to get over to that new save now. I really do. But I need the straw, so I'll make sure I do the straw baling in between as well. Do want to make sure I turn that on as well, don't we? Disable, so it should be on already. So let's give ourselves a headland pass here. Just get this soybeans in. Shouldn't be a bad yield. I'm thinking about 80, maybe 85%. I know it could be better, but you know, it should bring us some good money in. And we do need a tractor, so could go to paying down a bit of a deposit on that. So we could take the loan out and then just pay a bit of a redemption fee back, or whatever it's called, and just reduce that term a little bit. Yield, I'm looking at the map in the bottom left and seeing the yield map. It's not too bad really, but it's difficult to see in comparison like where we're at, because obviously it's a small header, we're not bringing in much. It kind of looks less than what it probably is, and as you can tell, probably going to take some time to do this because of the fact our header is pretty small. I mean, with the money we've got, we could at least out a better harvester really, but we'll go through it. We'll see how it gets on. I mean, we could have even sold it and then leased out one, but then we wouldn't have a harvester going into the next year. But maybe we want to be looking at something a bit, you know, an upgraded harvester anyway. I think we're doing alright, and the straw's not too bad as well. It's going to be, it looks like it's quite a bit that's dropping off, which is good to see. I just hope that by doing this headland pass in these fields, it will help. Because if not, well, it's going to be difficult for the auto drive to work. We can only hope, we can only hope. Right, so I'll finish off. I'll get these first headland passes done in both fields, and then I'll cut back in when I'm setting up auto drive, and we'll just see how it starts performing, see if it's alright, because it's when it needs the call. Is it going to detect the hedge? I'll try and enable turning in fields. Hopefully that'll be enough, but well, I guess time will tell. Right, so welcome back. I have been playing about with some things. I decided to treat myself for all the hard work we've done for this harvest and lease out another harvester. And I went with the Giant Software class Tucano. Now, it was a bit of money, don't get me wrong, and I sold my harvester, but I was definitely certain that I'm going to upgrade the harvester, even if I have to lease it out for a bit in the new save game. But why not get something that's obviously going to have a bit more juice, so it's obviously got more horsepower, so it won't struggle going up the hill on that corner over there. When I was doing the headland pass on that field, the other harvester, yeah, it just struggled like mad. I mean, we were down to 2 miles an hour, and I just thought, you know what, why not make our life a little bit easier and lease out something that's not a big size. It's not a massive harvester, this isn't, compared to others, but it's obviously, you know, more powerful. It's got a bigger header and it should work a treat. So yeah, we've leased this out. It should do a decent enough job, and yeah, we're at the point now where we just need to set up. So right, so let's bring up Courseplay, get this harvester all set up. We want to create a job. Courseplay field work, probably start it around here. Shouldn't be too bad. Now we have to take into account that we're not going to be doing that first headland pass. 7.8 meters is much better than what we were at. I think we had about a 4, so that's going to make things much easier. Now I am going to turn, in fact I'm going to do 4 headland passes. We're going to up that to 15% because I don't want to try. In fact, I'm going to up it to 25 because I'm hoping the second pass won't mean I miss bits, because obviously, yeah, it was done with a smaller capacity, so we'll have to just check that. Yeah, we'll have to check that. Let's generate it anyway. See how it's looking. That's not too bad. Here, and put nearest waypoint. It means it will go on to the second pass, so that's set up all good. We now need to just have a look at our tip trigger, which is farm silo unload point. So we need that to be for our auto drive and the carter, but what we do want is field 146 tractor weight on this. So let's just quickly do that. So 146 tractor weight, which is there. So that's all set up, ready to go. So what we can do now is just set this going. Hopefully it'll move on. To the second, which it has. I'm just trying to see if I do, because I put 25%, I'm hoping I don't miss a bit, but I might just miss a touch. It's not, I'm on the limit. I might miss little bits there, but we might have to just tidy it up. It's not too bad though. Should be alright. Yeah, so now what we need to do is just jump out and get into, eventually we'll get there. There we go. Now, it shouldn't be in the way now, but it's probably better if we drive around ourselves for this. And you can see that we got 6,258 litres already from doing the 2 headlands in these 2 fields. So, and bales are crazy, aren't they? Just sitting in the hedge like that. So we don't need that up at the moment. I'm just hoping that it'll work. It's a tight corner, that is. It really is. We'll just have to see how the auto drive's been set up. It might work, it might not. I mean, it might be better with a smaller trailer, but yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. Right, so if we set it up from about here, we want to make sure we go unload combine. The field is 146, if I remember. Tractor weight, which is, I'm sure it is, but we'll find out in a minute. And then we're going to be taking it to the farm yellow silo unload point. So let's just check that this is all sorted. 146. We can have a look right now just at these. I mean, that's a wide angle. You'd hope that that'd be alright. I'm confident. I have faith in this. And there we go. You might want to set these cornering speeds down a bit though, just because I know it might have a bit of an issue. So now it should wait for the signal from the tractor when it's unloading the combine. If we have a look at the settings on this vehicle, pipe offset is 0.75, distance to the combine, unload fill, put it in, yeah, we'll leave it at 85, field exit default, restrict pathfinder to field, yes, restrict unloader to field, yes. Avoid the fruit, we don't need to worry about that. If it helps us with the way it's figuring it out, I would rather it just not worry about the fruit or the crop, basically. Park in the field, yeah, you can do that for me. Automatically fueling in that we don't need. So apply that, and then now we sit here and wait and see if it works. I'm hoping it does. I mean, yeah, it's one of the things with these size fields and with the collisions, you know, it can be perfect, or sometimes it can be a living nightmare. Let's be frank. But so far, so good. I mean, what we could do, if we know it's working, is we can go in the baler, do some baling. But I think what I'll do is I'll just try and get some shots of it doing its thing. Bit of a montage as soon as we know it's working. I think that should be fine. Let me just go back to this. We don't really need that on anymore. So far, so good, though. Normally when that comes out, it kind of triggers to the auto drive that's its call. But hopefully he's not working on that one, because obviously it's just because he's driving past. Right, so what I'll do is I'll wait till about when he needs emptying, and we'll just make sure it's working, and then if it is, we'll crack on with the montage, and hopefully we'll have a decent yield by the end of this. And auto drive and courseplay have worked perfectly on this map combined. Who knows? It might be the case. Right, so welcome back. I have changed a few settings within courseplay for the harvester. So if we go into this menu, it's actually an auto drive, sorry. You can go onto the combine unload settings. I left the pre-call at 60, but I've changed active unloading to no, so it should stop instead of driving. I just think it will make things a little bit easier for us. The pre-call's at 60, so he's obviously opened the pipe out, but the driver over on auto drive is basically trying to figure out where this harvester is going to pretty much just the best place for it to catch it. Now, what you should find, if it's working perfectly, is when he gets under the pipe, the harvester will just stop dead, which is what we want, really. And that's why it's good to get the pre-call. I'd say probably about 60 the way it's set up, just because there's a lot of faffing going on beforehand. Sometimes it works a treat, especially when it's just a big, long, straight field and he's doing a long straight or long pass. Yeah, it should be alright. Then you can see that the fruit as well, he's driving through it, which I'm happy with, is if it makes his life easy. At the moment he's pretty much not really doing anything that's making much sense, but at some point this harvester's going to have to stop anyway, because it'll get full. But we just want to make sure it's the route I'm worried about. Can it take off from the harvester in the field? And if it does, after that, can it then go and tip it into the silo? As soon as we know that, montage ahead, I say. So we're at 80% now. Now would be the perfect time for him to just get under the pipe, drive through the crop. Not as pretty as you want it to be, but you know, he probably won't do it now because of the pass that he's on. I'm hoping, you know, he can at least get up this side of the field waiting. But most likely what's going to happen with this is as soon as the tractor stops, as soon as the harvester stops, that'll be the best time. You can see that he's pretty much lined up for it though, so the harvester will stop. But yeah, I prefer him to do that. Tail behind, so he's on this side, so when he turns, he's in the right position for it. I think that's probably the best thing to do, because now the pipe will be on that side, and he's close enough to him that he won't get to the end. I mean, if you wanted to, you could slow the speed down within courseplay. I think you can do that. Sure of it. You might be able to. You might not, actually. Right, so now's the time for him. Can he figure it out in time and get under the pipe? Not yet. Let's see what's going on. So he's chasing the combine. Let's chase it quicker than that, buddy. Catching the side of the rear and the left. This is it. This is exactly what it wants. Oh, no. He's decided no. He's chickened out. Fair play. Reversing for combine. This is a strange one. This really is. So I wonder if there's anything we can do better with this. So the harvester's had to stop now. So we should be alright for this. Just trying to see if there's anything we can do. Doesn't look like it. But the good thing about it is it should fill up now. It'll line up. Obviously, it's always changing as the harvester's moving. It's trying to obviously work things out. It isn't perfect at all. The bigger the field, the better it will work. That's how I've always found, because it's got more space. There's more of a straight on its pass for it to work out. The harvester shouldn't carry on. Thankfully. There we go. So it hasn't. Just because it makes it more complicated. I find, you know, if you've got a big straight field, you know, like an American size style field with loads of long passes, and it's easy enough for it to just carry on. You may as well do the active unloading. But I'm happy for it to stop each time. What we can do though, let's have a look at this. Unload fill level. So if it's at 85%, it will go to fill, and it is at 92. So now what should happen is this should automatically go all the way up to the silo and empty this. It's just waiting for room, like it says, which is a good thing to do, because then they're not getting in each other's way. Now, as good as this is, if you were doing something else, it'd be perfect. But at the same time, it's also a lot slower. It's a lot slower process because you're obviously using these automated features. And, for example, now, you would have just turned left there at that point. Because of the way this auto drive network's set up, you couldn't go that way because it's like one-way route. It's just a one-way direction around the field. So he's going to have to go all the way around and come back that side there to do the turn. So, like I said, it's not too bad if you're doing something else, or even if you're doing the harvesting, because by the time he's probably done and back, you know, your harvester's getting full again. So it works out all right. But, you know, if you're trying to do it just on its own and watch it happen, it's a lot longer. You may as well do the process yourself, especially when you can have auto drive carting and you can do the harvesting, or you could do the carting while auto drive and while Coursplay's doing the harvesting. But we're going to try it for fully automated, just because I didn't do that with the maize silage because it was just too problematic. And I saw the comment with people saying that I could have used follow me. I can use follow me, but the problem is then follow me won't take it to the obviously to the bunker. And the way I wanted it to work is it does everything. So it does the harvesting with the forage harvester, it does the carting, it does the compacting, because that can happen. And if you've got the right setup, you know, it will work. So I thought, why not do this fully automated instead? But I am now nervous because this corner, if it works with this size trailer, then fair play. But with me having a front weight on, you know, it sticks out quite a bit. I'm not entirely sure if this is going to work. And if it is, we'll try to take off the front weight. We'll just have to see how this gets on. Because you can even see now that it's already clipping very close. There you go. It did clip, but it got through. I'm happy with that. The main thing is, can it get through? Now, the way that auto drive set up is perfect because it's right on the far end of that. And, yes, so you can see that this trailer is always going to have an issue with that. But it probably will get past. But what I'm going to try and do quickly is just move that out of touch. I mean, he might hit the hedge now, but it might also at the same time help us out just a little bit more. I mean, ideally that wall's a pain in the butt, let's be honest. It really is. So you can tell that you already need smaller trailers. There you go. Just give him a nudge. You can already tell that we probably need a smaller trailer, which this isn't a massive trailer, but yeah, probably a smaller length, like wider but less length. That would have been better. So now, can he get back in time? And we're already doing alright though. 16,000 litres, nearly 17,000 litres isn't too bad. Good luck up the hill though. I'm just wondering, can I actually walk up this hill faster? I probably could at the bottom, but now he's going to pick up speed. But yeah, we're going to check this out now. This is going to be interesting. Will these be in the way? I don't know. maybe we could just quickly jump into this and just have a look at the way this is going to work out. Yeah, there is something going on there. I don't know what's going on, I'll be honest. It's a bit of a spaghetti junction. There is a reverse angle there. I've got a feeling that these tractors need to be moved out of the way. So I'm gonna quickly just try and see if I can be a bit sneaky here. Yep. Where have I gone? I mean, so far so good though. It's tipping out. Will it drive just straight out? Or does it need to swing around or something? Because if it does, I've obviously put a few items like that. Come on, there you go. Yeah, I've put a few items, so this for example, in the way, but it's tipped and that's good. That's working a treat. So will it go back out? Because I think it won't. I think it'll go straight forward, and as you can see, it's going to drive through this. Now we're just gonna have to quickly sell this, which isn't an issue. Probably shouldn't have put it there in the first place. Didn't really check the auto drive at that point, so we'll sell this, get a bit of cash back, and now it should work, he says. But there is only one way to find out, and I think, well, straight away, that's not a good start, is it? That is definitely not a good start. Let's see if we take the front weight off, see if that helps it. Yeah, for some reason it's not wanting to turn there, is it? Which is weird. But coming back out from that, it should just technically go this way. That's what it should have done. I mean, really, that doesn't need to probably be as much of a wide angle. Will it pass? It probably won't. So what I'm going to do, and you can see that that's not enjoying that one bit. Ooh, I would have probably moved that a little bit more, but at least it's now doing the turn. I mean, we didn't need it to be that severe, really. I could understand if you've got a bigger trailer, that would be perfect, but for us, that's not too bad. But it's interesting to why it didn't turn as quick coming out of the field, coming out of the silo. And it's going to be interesting as well to see how it's going to get back in that field, because the harvest is ready to be unloaded again. But that is mainly just because the fact it's finished. So what I'll do, just to make life easier, it's only at 41%. We're gonna stop this, and we're gonna set up the next one, and then we can crack on with the montage. Right, so there we go. Job done. Do you know what? In all fairness, auto drive and courseplay didn't do a bad job at all. It wasn't perfect. There was a few issues. I think twice they got confused and auto drive kind of blocked the way, so I had to sort that out. And obviously with the corner down at the bottom, that wasn't perfect. And it didn't even need to. I didn't even need to use it again because I took the last load up just because it was yeah, a full trailer, so, and it had finished up, so it just made more sense for me to finish off. So let's have a quick look, see how much we've got. So let's jump over to our time-saving stock check. We picked up 34,837 litres. Not too bad. And you can see that the best time to sell in July will bring us around 77,000. That's a nice chunk of money. That really is pretty decent. It's good to know that as well. Grass silage, 123,000. Whole crop silage, 52,000. Weirdly, it's not actually picking up the maize silage. So, got maize seed, but not maize silage. So it'd be good to see how much we've got of that, because it's probably about 100,000 maybe, if this is 400,000 litres, and we've got, what have we got? 320,000 litres, something like that. So, quite close. Yeah, it's interesting. Whole crop silage is only 154, but yeah, we're doing all right. So that is pretty much all the fields done. What we set out to do was obviously get our environmental score pretty decent. I think we've done a good enough job. We can definitely improve, but we need some better equipment to do that. We did some whole crop silage, we've done some maize silage, we've done a hell of a lot of hay and grass silage, so the feed is all there ready for the cows. We also have now made a crop to sell and a bit of straw, so we'll have plenty of straw as well. So all that we've got left to do now is kind of skip time to probably the perfect point when we can then transfer over to the new save game. It's going to be a lot of work behind the scene. It might mean that when I do that there'll be a bit of a delay, but there will be one more episode left in this save game just so I can tie up loose ends, like getting rid of the male animals, just trying to bring in some cash on that front, and then yeah, we'll take a bit of a recap. It might be a short episode, that will, just because it's going to be, well, pretty much no farming involved, but it's just to show what I've done before. But then after that, new save game, let's see what that's about. It should have mud on the map as well if you want to use the mud mod. There's obviously the animal breeds, so they look a bit different. So yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. It should be good to get onto the most latest version of ballyspring. And I imagine there's also an updated version for the auto drive as well. But on that note, I am going to leave the video there. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up, because that does help my channel out. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator.